Hi guys. I'm hoping that this opens up people's eyes a little bit more. I have two children, ages 3 and about to turn 5, apprehended by MCFD. No reason whatsoever. Start Go back as far as my last file closing. Our son William was removed at birth, and we fought for 9 months. Got him returned under a 6-month supervision order. Completed that. File got closed. Then, in order to try and get our children adapted to playing with other children, do the whole social thing, we wanted to put them into daycare. I went to our social worker and got told, okay, yeah, if we open up a support file for you, then we'll be able to pick up what government subsidy doesn't. So it wouldn't have costed the father and I anything out of pocket for daycare. Great. Things are going fine. End of November, I had a bit of an incident that resulted in the breakdown of my relationship. Went to family courts, got granted joint custody for both the children. Our social worker was sitting in the courtroom while the judge granted us joint custody, and that was the last I heard from the social worker. Beginning of January, our daughter, we spent Christmas together. Beginning of January, our daughter had to go in for surgery down to Children's Hospital. Spent a week at Children's Hospital with her. Came home. She had a week of recovery. At that point, I still was not leaving her side. My baby girl, not happening. Anyways, their father and I, getting along, not fighting, not arguing, whatever. All of a sudden, I got informed by the father that the social worker had ordered him to put them into respite care for the weekend. When we went to family court for the custody, I was placed under a supervision order. I wasn't allowed to be left alone with the children. Fine, whatever. The father was supervisor. He had to be present for any interaction I had with the children. In order for him to work, the social worker ordered him to put the children into respite care on the weekends so that he could work on the weekends, and they weren't worried. I wasn't going to be alone with the children. I had moved back into our family home to help pay the bills, do the housework, look after the kids, everything like that. My girlfriend lives 4 doors down from me. Any time that Chris could not be here with the children and me, she would come over, even if it was for 2 seconds, from to run to the store. Children are in respite care for the weekend. Arrangements that we were to pick them up Monday after daycare. Everything was fine. We were all planning for it. The father got a phone call from the social worker that Monday saying, yep, okay, go pick up the kids, this, that, and the other thing. And he asked the father what my parents' phone number was. The dad said, well, I don't have it, you have to call Dana and ask her. So, social worker finally calls me. This is the first I've heard from this guy in months. Social worker finally calls me, asks me what the number is. I told him, well, they just moved, I don't have their new phone number yet. What's going on? Well, Chris, he goes in saying how the father was making threats, beating the living daylights out of me, beating the shit out of me, whatever. Usual male anger, off the top of the head bullshit. So not once in 8 years have I feared safety for me or my children from this man. Chris he's a hothead, yes. When he gets mad, he may yell a little bit, but not directed at anyone or anything. It's just a vent. When he gets mad at the children, he uses a very stern, authoritative voice, which can be misinterpreted as yelling, but like I said before, I've never feared from this man whatsoever. Anyways, social worker calls me and informs me that he's been making these threats against me, and he's thinking of removing the children. I told him, you don't need to remove the children. I'm not worried about it. It's not an issue. I don't think he'll take these threats any further. All of a sudden, social worker calls the father back. Nope, don't bother picking them up. They're going into care. Father calls me, freaking on me because, well, apparently I said something that got the kids removed. Anyways, the reason the kids got removed, long and short of it, the reason the kids got removed is because my story didn't match up with what the social worker had. That was back in middle of February. We are now second week of August, and I still don't have my children. Today is my daughter's 3rd birthday. Don't get to see her. Social worker has said that I will get to see her on Tuesday. We're allowed to have a small family get together. Her father's not allowed. Social worker went, the father and I have had lawyers since they removed the children. They've succeeded in driving a wedge between the father and I. He has put complete blame for the children being in foster care on me. Social worker has gone behind the lawyers' backs, knowing that my lawyer was on vacation. We got a phone call Friday, about 4:40 actually, I think is the exact time that the phone call came in, this past Friday, just before the long weekend, stating that it was from Chris's lawyer's student, a lawyer in training. She got off her vacation, and something told her to stop by the office. She stopped in, she saw the facts saying we were in court Tuesday, and decided she would be nice and call the father to, hey, did you know about this? Complete shock to both of us. Tuesday morning, I called my lawyer's office, got confirmed that yes, he is out of the office until the 16th, and knew nothing about us being in court. Thankfully, Chris and I, we went down to court, and Chris is the kid's father, by the way. Went to court Tuesday, and stopped them getting their CCO order. They knew we've been fighting the initial removal. We're going to trial to fight the initial removal. Our trial dates are October 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 12th of 2012, 9:30 a.m. at the North Vancouver Provincial Courthouse. Please, anyone that has any issues with the MCFD or feels that MCFD should not have the power that they have, please attend. Anyone. We want William and Jessica to come home. I see my children twice a week for an hour at a time, and every time I see them, I have to explain to them that Mommy and Daddy are doing everything we can to get them home. It is absolutely heartbreaking. I don't know what else to do. Their entire accusations are wrong. They are basing everything on a parenting capacity assessment done by a biased woman who is being paid by MCFD. I need help. My children do not deserve to be in foster care. They deserve to be at home with their mother and father. We think a lot of MCFD's problem is that we took the initiative and decided that we can co-parent our children under the same roof without being a couple. I personally am a child of divorced parents. I know what it's like to go from one house to another week after week, whatever, and it's not fun. It makes life hell. I don't want this for my children. I need as much as I can in support to try and get my children home. The 4 of us, we're doing great. And breakdown of my relationship, if someone were to ask me what I would sum it all up as, is purely situational. At the time, we were dealing with someone we thought as a friend, completely screwing Chris out of a business and putting him 3 months behind in debt. That, on top of what happened with me at the end of November in Mission. For your knowledge, I was raped by a friend's husband, and because of the fact I didn't put up a fight, or the father doesn't believe me that I was raped. He wants to believe I was cheating on him. He's entitled to his opinion. I know different. I know the truth. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. But you put that with what his business thing, starting up in a new garage, being in debt, our daughter needing surgery, and then MCFD showing up and removing our children. I can't blame the guy for being pissed. Forget angry. He's beyond angry. He's pissed, and rightfully so. These are our children. These are our lives. We need people to open up and say no. They can't keep coming in and tearing up families that don't deserve it. I know in the town I'm in, Squamish, there are a number of people off the top of my head I can list off that deserve more of an intervention from MCFD. I'm not saying that they need their children removed, but that could use the help. There's drug addicts where their kids are playing with their drug paraphernalia. And MCFD knows about it, and they won't do anything, but they'd much rather go into a home where the children are well-behaved, well-mannered, good as gold, smart as whips. I mean, my 5-year-old can write his name, or, well, he's not even 5 yet, can write his name clear as day. He colors a picture, and you'd swear it was done by like a 13-year-old. There's no scribbling out of the lines. He's very, just unreal. I am so proud of my children. And people need to be made aware that MCFD cannot keep doing this. Our social worker's worked with us for years. He knows that Chris and I are good parents, and we do everything we can for our children. So, this is my last chance. Help, please, somebody. If anybody out there has any way of helping me bring my children home to their mother and father, I'll take anything I can get. Like I said, trial is October 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 12th at 9:30 a.m. There is going to be a huge rally there. Anyone that wants to, please show up, show your support. Bring signs, banners, anything to get attention. Get in touch with your local media. Tell them, look, they need to show up. This is something that needs attention brought to it. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure the media gets there. Please, on your signs, stop MCFD from stealing our children. Don't tear apart our homes. Let our children be. Return William and Jessica. Please, just whatever you can do, it would be greatly appreciated from both Chris and I. Thanks.